First up, Nicola Peltz. Brooklyn Beckham's new bride, Nicola Peltz, has apparently butted heads with Victoria Beckham, claiming she is overbearing. It was reported that Victoria planned to help Brooklyn plan his wedding, and at first Nicola was overjoyed with the offer. However, months later, she changed her mind and didn't want Victoria making decisions on her behalf anymore. This switch didn't sit right with Victoria, because Victoria loves to be in control, especially when it has to do with her kids. A source said, quote, "Posh has been incredibly generous with her time and efforts. She's worked up sketches for a series of gowns for Nicola to help her to pick from. It would be a total dream to dress her." But Victoria had to find out through friends that Nicola does not want her involved with the wedding dress selection. The source continued, quote, "Nicola is grateful, but she wants to go with an up-and-coming designer with a more modern edge. Nicola and Posh love each other, of course, but it's not always smooth sailing. We're talking about two very big personalities, fiercely fashionable ones at that. It's hard to tell if there really is tension or if tabloids are just trying to take advantage of the situation. Leading up to the wedding, Brooklyn and Nicola have been very quiet about their plans. However, it's expected that Victoria will have a key role in the big day, especially since the wedding was rumored to have cost over $3 million, but we'll get into that later. Next, Chloe Grace Moretz. Before Brooklyn was married to Nicola Peltz, he was in an off and on again relationship with Chloe Grace Moretz, and it was rumored that he cheated on her in the end. In April of 2018, Beckham was spotted kissing model Lexi Wood in Los Angeles, before he or Chloe had announced if they were broken up. Of course, there's a chance the couple had ended things privately and just didn't want to share it, but there's another chance that they had not discussed where their relationship was going, and Brooklyn just started seeing someone else without talking to Chloe about it. Moretz told the Sunday Times, quote, "Breakups are hard across the board, but when every verified account on Twitter posts something about me, I get tagged, and every major publication is verified, so anytime they post something about a certain relationship, it pops up on my phone, which is how I find out about 90% of things." So clearly she found out about this new fling online, which is something you would not wish on your worst enemy. A few days after these paparazzi photos were leaked, Chloe seemed to clap back by posting a screenshot of Cardi B's song Be Careful, which is a song about Offset's infidelity. Moretz also liked a social media post that included a picture of herself with her middle finger up, aimed at Beckham. So clearly she was angry and wanted the world to know. Chloe confirmed their relationship in a 2016 episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen by saying, quote, "We're in a relationship. It's fine, it's no biggie. The more I don't make it serious, the more people don't care, so yes, we're in a relationship." But after those photos of him kissing another girl leaked, they were over for good. Rebecca Luz. One of many women that David Beckham has allegedly had an affair with was his assistant, Rebecca Luz. The rumor first started in 2004 when he was spotted with a random woman in a Madrid nightclub. The woman was later identified as assistant Rebecca Luz. Sources then came forward and alleged that Luz and Beckham were very intimate at this club, and it was assumed that they were sleeping together. They also reported the two exchanged racy texts. The story claimed that Victoria contacted this assistant, warning her to stay away. After the story turned into madness, Luz confessed everything to Sky News, saying, quote, "I was getting a few innuendos, but I kept saying, no, he doesn't fancy you. Adding, quote, I would always say to myself, don't risk your job. And I knew there was a huge risk involved if I got involved with this man." But Luz admitted that they slept together after they connected following a night out with friends. Luz also claimed that there was problems in his marriage at the time. The Beckhams clapped back, claiming it was all made up and nothing intimate was happening between them. David also released a statement denying the claims, saying, quote, "The simple truth is that I am very happily married. I have a wonderful wife and two very special kids. There's nothing any third party can do to change these facts." The couple also threatened Luz with legal action, but since this is the first of many cheating rumors, there could be some truth to it. Sarah Marbeck. Shortly after the Luz affair rumors came to light, yet another woman came forward exposing her relationship with Beckham. This woman named Sarah Marbeck was a Malaysian-born Australian model. Marbeck told news outlets, quote, "He said he felt he'd been hit by a sledgehammer from the first time he saw me." Marbeck claimed that she exchanged explicit text messages with Beckham for years, but David called the story absurd and unsubstantiated. Victoria told The Sun at the time, quote, "We have been through a lot worse than this, and we're definitely going to get through this." Marbeck claimed that she had a 9-month affair with Beckham after meeting him at a party in Singapore in 2001. At the time, she released a statement saying, quote, "The reason I decided to go public with the details of my relationship with David Beckham is because for 2 years my life was on hold while I waited for him. He said he loved me and I slept with the phone by my bed waiting for it to ring. Finally, I accepted that my relationship with Beckham was over and I decided to move forward with my life. But in that time, my life changed forever and there's no way back for me." Next up, Charlotte Meredith. Victoria Beckham is allegedly in a feud with David Beckham's stepsister, Charlotte Meredith. and has been for years now. Apparently it all started in 2019 when Victoria did not invite Charlotte to Harper's christening. Of course, it was speculated these were only rumors until the marriage between Ted Beckham and Hillary Meredith took place, and it was clear there was some touching with Victoria. A source said, quote, "Victoria didn't want to hang around and they left as soon as they could. Charlotte was hoping for some bonding time at the wedding, but Victoria avoided her like the plague. The thing that sealed the deal was a photo taken of David with his dad, stepmom, and stepsister. The missing link in this photo is Victoria, who we assume did not want to be included. I guess we'll never know the reason why she wasn't invited to Harper's christening, but clearly it's made a huge impact on the dynamic of the family." Social media. If you hadn't already heard, Brooklyn and his new wife Nicola Peltz got married this weekend in a lavish ceremony. And when I say lavish, I mean uber lavish. Peltz comes from a lot of money, and her family are billionaires along with the Beckhams' fortune, so it makes sense a lot of money would be spent. But after it was reported that the couple and their family spent $3.5 million on this insane wedding, social media users became very angry, claiming the money could have been spent in many other ways, like helping Ukrainians fleeing war. It's been reported that the bride's parents, Nelson and Claudia, footed the cost of the entire thing, because David and Victoria's $494 million fortune is pretty much nothing compared to Nicola Peltz's $1.6 billion family fortune. The wedding took place at the Peltz's Miami mansion. After the event, Twitter users flocked to share their disdain. One person tweeted, quote, "Something grotesque about this wedding. Brooklyn has no job, barely 20 years old, wasting all his money." Another said, quote, "Why David and Posh Beckham are spending $103 million when America and the whole world are having trouble with money. For one, his older son's wedding, not in the UK. They should have given that money to save the children of the world." Some Twitter users even pointed out that Peltz gained his massive fortune through fast food joints like Wendy's and Arby's, and since he is so insanely rich, he clearly has enough money to give essential fast food workers a raise. First up, of course, we have Chris Rock. The person who has shown the world the true dynamic of the Smith family is definitely Chris Rock. After Will smacked Chris on stage at the Oscars, the world got to see a different side of Will, and it was shocking. While comedian Chris Rock was speaking to the crowd and taking some dig at the celebrities in the audience, Rock decided to take a jab at Jada Pinkett Smith, and I'm sure you know what happens next. Chris said, quote, "Jada, love you, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it," referencing her almost bald head, because in the movie G.I. Jane, the lead actress Demi Moore had a shaved head. Jada has been open about her struggle with alopecia, and that's why she shaved her head that night. Immediately after the joke, Will Smith decided to get up, interrupt the broadcast, and slap Chris Rock in the face for millions to see. Chris looked stunned and was not sure exactly how to respond. Will then walked back to his seat and yelled, quote, "Shut your mouth, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," twice. After the slap, Rock looked completely stunned, having no idea what to do or say. It looked like he was about to clap back and say another harsh joke about Will or his family, but Rock took the high road and decided to stay calm. The internet was set ablaze by the slap, with many not even sure if it was real or just staged for publicity. But considering the aftermath, it was clearly real. Although many pointed out that Will actually laughed at the joke moments before deciding to get up and slap Chris Rock. After this event, many are accusing Jada of wearing the pants in their relationship and manipulating Will to do her dirty work for her. There's a chance that he was simply defending his wife, but many believe that Will knew that if he didn't do something to avenge her honor in that moment, Will would have been in trouble. Even though the event was said to be the biggest night of Will Smith's life, which definitely it was, just not in the way that he wanted. Next up, August Alsina. After the infamous Oscars slap, old reports that Jada had cheated on Will in the past resurfaced. The pair have spoken about how they are in an open marriage, so we are not sure if it was really cheating or not, but Jada admitted she was in a quote entanglement with rapper August Alsina during a break with her husband. During the Red Table Talk segment where they spoke of the affair, Will looked visibly angry about the situation and pushed Jada to confirm that she did have a relationship with August. After admitting to cheating, she did not apologize or even seem remorseful. She instead deflected, saying, quote, "I was in a lot of pain, I was very broken," saying she only wanted to help August, but it turned into a relationship. Alsina had been introduced to Jada by her son Jaden at a London music festival in 2015. Insiders stated that August became like a member of their family, even going on vacations with them and staying in their mansion. August is 21 years younger than Jada, and he claimed that Smith had actually given his blessing to have an affair with his wife, an allegation that Jada has denied. Will also reported that he had affairs with other women during this time. He was rumored to have slept with co-star Margot Robbie. Many believe that Will's insane reaction to the joke is proof that he is in a toxic relationship with his wife, because he completely embarrassed himself on the biggest night of his life, all because of a bad joke. Even though it doesn't seem like Jada is ashamed of anything she did, it is strange that she tried to deny it, then downplayed it when she could not brush it off anymore. And without August coming forward, we would have never known about their strange relationship. Margot Robbie. Jada most likely hates actress Margot Robbie because it was rumored that Margot and Will had an affair while they were filming the movie Focus. But that's not all. Jada has also admitted that she has a bias against white women with blonde hair, which we assume attributed to this dislike. In 2018, Jada made headlines when she admitted on Red Table Talk that she has a racial bias, specifically admitting that she has a problem with blonde white women, saying on the episode, quote, "I do have my own biases, specifically with blonde women. Blonde hair on white women just triggers me, and I've had to catch myself." Pinkett Smith even admitted that she second-guessed doing interviews with blonde women in the past because they remind her of the type of kids who used to tease her in school. But Jada has worked hard to fix this bias and even admitted that white women still do face oppression based on their gender, making it easier to relate to them. Next up, Cherie Zampino. Cherie Zampino was married to Will Smith before he and Jada got married. The shady part is that Will and Jada started dating before he and Cherie were officially divorced. Jada's mother, Adrienne Banfield-Jones, dished on Access, quote, "I think initially when Will first called you, I think he was still married or he was just separated, and I was like, he's not available to you." Jada added that Will was div, but the worst didn't happen yet. But Jada later admitted that when she learned things were not finalized, she should have backed off. To make matters worse, Jada has claimed on multiple occasions that she never even wanted to marry Will. She only decided to go forward with it because she was pregnant. Her mother and Will thought that starting a family was the best idea, and Jada reluctantly agreed. Later, the couple agreed to an open marriage. Scientology connections. After the Chris Rock incident, some started connecting the dots between the bizarre slap and Scientology. This is because the Smiths have been tied to Scientology in the past, and physical punishment is a popular teaching in the church. Apparently, it's a common teaching in Scientology to use slaps and other forms of physical force to show other Scientologists that they've done something wrong. After the slap, one user tweeted, quote, "There's a Scientology course, I guess you'd call it, that involves slapping or physically humiliating fellow Scientologists in a group setting as a means of exerting superiority. It's remarkably common within the cult." The user even shared that Tom Cruise is known to use similar styles of punishment, but instead of hitting, he uses shouting to intimidate movie crews. Although the Smiths have denied being involved with Scientology, the connection is pretty hard to deny. The couple were apparently introduced to the church by none other than Tom Cruise back in 2004. They got so involved with it that the Smith family spent almost $1 million in 2008 to set up a school for the church. The Smiths said they designed the curriculum in the school, but insiders claimed it was based on Scientology. Both Jaden and Willow attended, but the school closed 6 years later when most of the parents removed their children. Tony Ortega, an expert in Scientology, said that the Smiths left Scientology in 2015 and that Will at least only ever dabbled in it. However, he says that Jada was a full-fledged member and apparently everyone knows it. Next up, William Hendricks. The Oscars was the first time that many Will Smith fans saw him get violent. But to people like William Hendricks, his hot temper is well known. In 1989, Smith spent a night in jail after he hurt a man named William Hendricks so badly that Hendricks almost lost his sight. Even more coincidental, this incident happened days after Will won his first Grammy. I guess he likes to get into altercations around award season. The charges were later dropped against Will. Will Smith was 20 years old at the time, and after getting in a verbal argument with the producer, decided to make things physical. As per a police report, Smith asked his bodyguard, Charles Alston, to quote attack record promoter William Hendricks, who needed 6 stitches after he fractured his left eye orbit during the altercation. Next up, Sony executives. One of the strangest things about the Smith family is the couple's relationship to their children. The Smiths have been open that they don't use punishment when dealing with their kids, and they pretty much let them do whatever they want. But this parenting style may have backfired, because it's common talk in the industry that Willow and Jaden are entitled brats that nobody wants to work with. Because of their parents, the kids have auditioned for many big roles in the past, but only Jaden has landed roles alongside his father. It was exposed that Sony executives have exchanged emails saying not to allow the Smith kids in their movies. As a response to this, Will shrugged and noted how, quote, everyone disses his kids. Some of this might stem from the differences between Will and Jada and how much fame they want their kids to have. Sources say that Will wants to push his kids to fame much more than Jada wants to, leading to a clear difference in parenting. Considering Will admits to being responsible for their kids' erratic behavior, it's not far-fetched to think that there's a clear difference in what both parents want for their children.